Come over so mommy can sit down.
What's up with that?
I don't know where the guy is. Peggy Burnham. Got it. See, between the two of us, we'll figure out where they're at.
We all set with the cable? Good afternoon. Please stand and join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. I'd like to recognize the Templeton Historic Commission. If Mr. Dixon could come forward, please. They've been very helpful in transitioning us, so please come forward. Thank you.
Welcome to today. It's a wonderful day to be out here. This school, unfortunately, is not in the historic Templeton district. That boundary is the tree line right there on the other side of us. The state considered this to be, date-wise, a modern building. So I don't know what I think about that. But at any rate, as a graduate from the class of '68, the last 6th grade class to graduate from this school, I'd like to welcome you all here. And the way the Historical Commission worded it when we were talking about the school, it was a part of the cultural fabric of the town. And the many, many people who have gone through this school and then on to high school and then on to college and out into the work world, they've made a name for themselves and they've done the school proud. So it's very appreciative that all you folks turned out today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Would Mrs. Kate McGinnis come forward from the newly formed Templeton Elementary School PTO? Mrs. McGinnis. To welcome us to today and this historic event and our 75th birthday, Dr. Stephen Hammond.
Thank you, John. Welcome everyone to this special day. We are here to say goodbye to a school that has served the children of Templeton for 75 years. I want to thank the planning committee for their work they did to organize this very special day. This building will be taken down this fall so that a new state-of-the-art building can be constructed. Templeton Center has served well, and for that we thank the townspeople who had this school built 75 years ago. It was well constructed. I can tell you, if the rooms could talk, it would be very interesting what they could tell us what took place in the last 75 years. It was also very interesting as we walked through, and Adrian Morgan has worked very hard on and other people putting the history of the building. And one of the things I said to her, we please save those because eventually we'd like to see those in the new building to have the history of this building. As I leave in June, as many of you know, I'm the interim superintendent. I want to thank those who worked toward the new school. Students, parents, teachers, and townspeople have fond memories of this building. I can remember the 8 years, my first 8 years here, coming here and seeing the children, seeing the teachers and parents. It was a very lively building, and there was learning taking place, and it's done its job. Today we say goodbye, and we say job well done to Templeton Center. Thank you and welcome today.
long-term Templeton Center principal, Mr. Ken Vadalis, is here today to celebrate with us and to provide some reflections of Templeton Center School. Mr. Vadalis.
It's great to be home again. This is my home for 26 years. I started in 1973. It was my 5th year in education, having taught for 4 years. And Richard V. McNamara and Willard Chasen placed their trust in me to lead to the children of this school and the families that were here. I hope that I did the right thing by your children. In 26 years, I've seen many, many, many students come through. How many here were students at the school or had a child that attended this school? This was my home away from home. I spent probably more waking hours here at the Templeton Center School and the sister school, the East Templeton School, 1.8 miles away. There were days that I didn't want to be clocked by the police on how fast I was going, should I be called to the other building. During this time, in the 26 years that I was here, we've seen so many different changes. The ungraded program, the open concept classroom, basal reading, whole language, back to the basics, new math. The key to the great quality of education, though, wasn't the programs. Programs come and go. It was the quality of the teachers that we had in this building. But not only the teachers, but all the staff of the school, because we were a team. No matter what your job was, we worked here together. Nobody worked for someone else. And that was a philosophy that I believed in. And the support from the families at this school were tremendous, because the teachers on 6 hours a day don't provide the education that the children need. It was you as family that did that together. I've had the opportunity of meeting many children that attended this school while I was here. When I started, I was 26 years old. It was 1973. Those children grew up, had their own children, and I had them in school. Just 2 days ago, I was filling in a neighboring community as principal. This young parent comes in for a meeting. She says, "You were my principal at Templeton Center School," and we were meeting about her first grade student there at the school. It's a great feeling that when I see people come back, and they tell me that I haven't aged, but I haven't. 1973 was the first year of kindergarten in Massachusetts. It was mandated in 1973. Now, I'm going to be careful not to mention anyone's name because I always will forget someone. But here it was, new principal, brand new kindergarten program. And I learned one lesson that year. Don't rush kindergarten kids. It doesn't work. We had many firsts here at the school. It was the first year of public kindergarten. It was the first year that we had public pre-kindergarten classrooms. I don't call it preschool because they're here. How can you call it preschool? They're in the building. It's pre-kindergarten. The staff picnics that we had, the field days that we had, the first one in 1973, everyone was very hesitant. Everybody got together, and now I think it's an annual event in many schools to have those field days. We lived through Proposition 2.5 passing in 1980. It decimated our schools, but we rebuilt. Chapter 766, special education didn't exist. We have it. I'll never forget 1976, the bicentennial. The staff and the students, and we all dressed up for our Memorial Day program right on the front. And we wore period costumes, and it was great fun. the Women's Club of Templeton that sent the entire student body of the town for the Freedom Trail. Great memories. Of course, back then we had a nurse that came in twice a week, probably for about an hour. We didn't hesitate when we had to take care of those children. I wouldn't hesitate, put them in the car, bring them home if the parent wasn't able to come and pick them up. Things have changed. Yes, I think things have changed for the good also. Today is a different world that we're living in. But we had some fun. Teaching and learning is our goal and our mission, to teach those children. But you need to do it in a fun way. And we had a lot of fun here at this school. I can remember many, many, many events that, yes, I kissed the pig if they had met the reading challenge. I got on the roof of the building. It's my goal to get up there one more time before they tear it down. Backwards day, pajama day. I hope to be here on the grounds when we have the groundbreaking. I hope that I'll be invited. I wanted to see a new elementary school in this town for a long time. It's long overdue. We knew we needed it 15 years ago, and it's now going to happen. It makes me feel good that that is going to happen. Yes, it's mixed feelings to be leaving this building that I spent 26 years in, but it's also time to move forward into a new building with the new technologies, providing everything that the children need. And I want to congratulate the town of Templeton for having done that, because it will be a wonderful opportunity for our kids. I did bring a prop. During the kindergarten, one of the programs that we had was called the Alpha Days program. And the letters had names that were given to them. Horrible hair, for H for horrible hair. And yes, we all did the horrible hair and dyed pink and wearing it in many different ways. E for exercise, so we would do the exercising. Well, there was velvet vest. V was for the velvet vest and learning the letter. Well, of course, my name being Valis, Mr. V, velvet vest. The seamstress, pre-K teacher, decided that I should have a velvet vest. Mr. V in his violet velvet vest. Thank you very much.
Our beautiful grandfather clock is going to be stored at the Historical Society Museum right across the street, and I'd like to just say thank you to the Historical Society and recognize Brian Tangway or any member of the society for here today. Anyone here? Let's hear it for them anyway. I'd like to call forward the following students who are helping us today recognize the Templeton Center send-off with memories of Templeton Center School. If you're here, please come forward. Ella Swanson, Callie Weedle, James Allred, Emma Loddick, Michael Capps.
The Templeton Center School is so much fun. Also, the teachers were like a warm, bright sun. I never wanted to leave there, but sometimes you have to do things that you have to bear. My favorite memory was the fun morning games we did. I look forward to the morning games every day. That's my favorite memory of the Templeton Center School, I say. Templeton Center ABC. A. Art class. B. Blue skateboard park. C. Children learning. D. Dangerous castle across the street. E. Extra free time. F. Friends. G. Garofalo. H. Haunted bathrooms. I. Ice cream party reward. J. Jilson. K. Kissing tree. L. Little library. M. Morgan. N. Nice teachers. O. Outdoor recess. P. Parallel bars. Q. Quiet time. R. Red monkey bars. S. Seesaws. T. Teeth falling out. U. Underground classrooms. V. Voices singing. W. Wide stairs that face the playground. X. Xylophones and music. Y. Young children. And Z. Zoo field trip.
Hello, my name is James Allred. I'm in the 7th grade. I go to Narragansett Middle School. I have a lot of amazing memories in TC. The teachers are very kind, and so are the office staff. Mr. Garofalo was an amazing principal and was very supportive. I remember in kindergarten we were going to have share and tell every day, and I shared all of my toys to the class. In 1st grade we had stations in class, and I would always use the headphones. There would be a different story every day, and then we would write about it. In 2nd grade, we got to make our own book about anything we wanted. The project was based on creativity. I made a Buzz Lightyear action story, and I had a great time making it. This is certainly one of my favorite memories. I had a lot of friends in TC also. Since there were such small classes, everyone knew each other. Also, every week in 1st grade, there would be a new line leader, and whoever at this role got to lead the line wherever the class went. I had memories in the playground too. I remember when the school installed a new seesaw, and the first week we got it, the beehive was under it. Every single day recess started, everyone would run to the swings because they were very exciting and one of the only activities out there. And I got to use them sometimes. When I did, I had a blast. In school, we had one room that held art, gym, and music classes. Even though the room was small, they were fun classes. One of my favorite memories in that class is doing 7-Up in art. I remember when a new student named Jack came to TC. I was the first person to talk to him, and I was his first friend. I found him on the stairway leading to the cab, and he missed his mother, so I cheered him up. I made funny faces and jokes, and he started to laugh. After that, Jack became my best friend, and we did everything together in school. In all, TC holds a lot of my memories. I have a lot of friends that went there too, and are still in Narragansett. Even though TC is gone on the reroll, it still has a place in my heart.
Whether it's poison ivy on the field or recess with my friends, Templeton Center Elementary School has made memories until the end. Being a senior next year has shown me that I now have to be responsible and learn not to rely. Now instead of having gym or walking the turkey trot, I have calculus and biology and a license and a job. I have lockers and tests and homework and books and sports and commitment and a new mature outlook. I will always remember the hard quizzes and the extremely small tables, my elementary school teachers, and all my childhood fables. So I look back at elementary school, where I would sleep in I'd slack, at the time of my life, and I would do anything to go back. And as Dr. Seuss would say, and we all send off laughing, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened.
Good afternoon. During my years at Templeton Elementary School, when I attended, those were some pretty wild times. Although my memories of the school are thin, I can still recall that my teachers, my classmates, and even the rug in my kindergarten class that had all the alphabets, all the letters in the alphabet, mind you. I used to always think that the school was very large and in a very impressive structure. And as I got older, I have found that there are some schools that are a little bit bigger. Most of my memories of the school occurred during either recess or snack time. In the big open field where on the nice days my friends and I would play kickball almost every day. And in the cold days, the not so beautiful days, we would throw snowballs for all of 5 minutes before the teachers would yell at us, because that's deemed dangerous. I remember after recess, we would get a drink from the water bubbler. That always seemed like the nicest water, especially after running around in the heat for half an hour. During snack time, I remember spending my time with my friends, probably getting a little too loud considering the teachers had to ask the class to keep it down quite often. My first year attending Templeton Elementary School was kindergarten, back when we only put in half days. I never went to preschool, so this is my first time interacting with as many kids my age. I made some of the best friends, and a lot of them I still was friends with today, and I talk to them every day. Although my time at school happened about 10 years ago, a lot has changed since. The technology has changed a lot, especially since I went here, we had the little CD players that me and my classmates found was very impressive. One part of the school that has always amazed me, and I'm still amazed by today, is the urinals that go all the way to the ground. Yes, it does show how old the school is, but it's one that only the school has. The school has changed a lot throughout the many years the building has been up. I drive by the school every single day, and now whenever I picture the center of town in my head, I picture this school being here, and that will not change. Although it is nice to have a much needed school that'll be very modern and much larger, I, along with the thousands of other people who have attended this elementary school, along with the citizens of this town, will always know that Templeton Elementary School was a big part of this town. Thank you very much.
Let's hear it again for these students. And now to help us continue with our memories of Templeton Center School, community member Andrea Brooks, please.
Hi, everybody. Well, my first year at TC was 1993, and I had preschool. That's Venture right there up front. I could not come up with just one memory from being a student here at Templeton Center. I have so many. TC basically shaped me into who I am today. I mean, without TC, I wouldn't have been able to write, let alone read this story to you today. Without some of the amazing teachers, I would not have been able to get through school at all, and I see most of them here today. I will always cherish the lifelong friends that I've made here and all the lessons that I've learned. A simple thank you will never be quite enough for me to give to anybody. Let's see, where to start? Well, the first day of school was always fun. We would get off the bus, we'd meet our teachers, we'd get our cool little fancy name tags. We'd line up right here. We had lines. Can't see them anymore. We'd line up right behind the United States, which isn't here anymore. It's faded over the years. We'd meet our teachers, we'd meet Mr. Vadalis, we'd meet new friends, we'd find our old friends. Learning the ABCs with Mrs. Preventure in preschool, that's where I'm going to begin. Mrs. Preventure would always make every day so much fun. For Halloween, we'd all come in dressed in our costumes. She would be in one too. She'd have powdered donuts hanging from the ceiling from strings, and we'd all get a chance to try to grab one without using our hands. If we used our hands, we were called cheaters. We all got one, though. For Thanksgiving, I remember going shopping at Stop and Shop for a tour. We made our own dinner at school today. Yeah. For Christmas, Santa would come in. We'd be able to sit on his lap. We'd all get a small gift, and we'd tell him what we wanted for Christmas. Preschool was probably one of my favorites. And ma'am, I love you. In kindergarten, Mrs. Kazinskis, and let me tell you, to this day, I still cannot spell it. Sorry. Mrs. Kazinskis turned those ABCs into words and sentences, and we started learning to read. My favorite was those letter people that Mr. Vadalis was talking about. I still have mine, Mr. G for gum. We focused on the different letters every week, and we each got to take one home at the end of the week. Then there was first grade. We began writing more. Mrs. Early helped us with our spelling. We also began reading harder books. I had Mrs. Morgan in second grade. That's when I began learning a little bit more difficult math, which is something I'm still not very good at. But I did pass. And the one thing I can remember from both first and second grade was using those little blue spelling books. I think I still have a few in some of my old school things. Then there was third grade. Mrs. Stone taught us how to write and read in cursive, which is a skill I am very grateful to still have today. Mrs. Stone was also the one that taught us our 50 states in alphabetical order for our Memorial Day program. Because of her, I can recite all 50 states from Alabama to Wyoming and all the rest in between. And then there's Mr. Vadalis. What can I say about you? He was an awesome principal. I can remember him coming into school in his velvet vest. I have pictures there inside. And his matching tie, he would even bring in his tie collection, and we all thought that was the coolest thing. I have pictures of him up on the roof, as he said. Where's my place? Sorry. Even though I was the fourth Brooks girl to go through the school system, Mr. Vadalis could never quite remember my name. My grandmother was a kindergarten teacher. He had my mom in school. He had my aunt in school. So I was Molly one day, Amy another. Every once in a while I was Doris. He did call me Andrea majority of the time. The teachers I had here at TC made school fun. It wasn't just work. They turned things that seemed so difficult to us into a game to help us understand it better. Some of the friends I've made through the years in this elementary school have followed me through the years. I'm still friends with some of them today. Some of the people I met will always be my friends. I see a few of them in the crowd. Some of the teachers I had, I will remember you always. Even though this school is going to be gone, the memories will never leave us. The lessons we've learned and the people that got us through it will always be there for us. Now that we're getting older, and our children, and we're having children, they will be able to make their own memories in a new school, in a safe place, just like we did. I only hope that when I have children, they will be able to learn from some amazing teachers like mine. And I hope that I can pass along some of the lessons that I learned from all of you onto them. Thank you, TC, for helping me make memories that will last me a lifetime. The school will be gone, but it will never be forgotten.
And now to congratulate us, Congresswoman Susanna Whips Lee and Senator Ann Goby.
I'm going to correct the program. I'm not a congresswoman. I'm a state representative. But I'm honored by the promotion. Thank you so very much. You know, as we hear people coming up here and talking of all ages, from our youngest presenter to Mr. V, other than Mr. Capps, I don't think the physical plant has been mentioned much at all. What we've heard is, as I've been standing down here, is about the teachers and the staff and the families and the friends and the students. That's what a school is. This building's going to be gone and replaced with a terrific one, but the stories that you've heard today, that's what a school is. A school is about administrators who put in more hours than they need to, teachers who put in more hours than they're paid to put in. That's what a school is, and families that work together with the school to make sure the kids have the very best. So I'm honored to be here today and with Senator Goby, and I'll give her the mic for a minute.
Thank you very much. And that image of Ken Vadelis in that velvet vest, that's going to like etched in my memory forever, Ken. I don't know. That's a tough one to get out. I'm very happy to be here with everyone. Susie and I have, we've been here the last 3 days. On Friday, we were at the retirement for Tom Miller. Yesterday was for the dedication of the Dick Udala Field. And today, of course, for this closing ceremony. And when Michael came up and spoke, you know, they're all tied in though, right? It's all about the importance of community and how all of those things and how important they are to this community. By the way, as I was standing over there, they're important to the birds too that are in their bird's nest up there, I think as well. And then this morning, I had opened up, and on the very front page, I don't know if, did you see this article? It was in the Telegram and Gazette today. About Nate. I mean, a wonderful, of course, it would have been even a better article if George Barnes wrote it. Where's George? But a terrific article. And I have no idea if Nate went to school here. Did he go to this elementary school? But what he did do, and with all those kids are going to be graduating, is that they are products of this school district. And you know, when how many of the kids that are here, how many of you kids that are here right now go to this school right now? Oh, quite a few. So, you know, when they walk out of this building, like Susie said, for that last time, they're not going to be given a piece of that brick and mortar, huh? But what they're going to take with them is so much more important. That love of learning that has been instilled by their parents, by their teachers, by the staff, and that is what they will keep with them for the rest of their lives. So congratulations. I know it's a bittersweet day, but it's a good day for Templeton and a good day for this entire district. Thank you. And on behalf
of both the General Court of Massachusetts, Senator Goby and I, with regards from Senate President Stan Rosenberg and our Speaker Bob DeLeo, as well as the administration, Governor Charlie Baker and Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito. We have a few citations recognizing 75 years of quality education, and we hope these will hang proudly in the new school to remind people of what a blessing this building and this community has been. Thank you.
What's your question? Raise your hand if you were here in 41. Let's hear it for these people. Woo! Thank you so much. Before we point to the future, I just want to recognize I see a special guest out there today. Please help me say hello and welcome longtime administrative assistant Sandy Calvet is with us. To point us to the future and beyond, our new superintendent of schools beginning July 1, Dr. Chris Casavant.
Thank you. The joy of speaking last is that all the great stuff is taken. Literally, I was checking off all of the great, wonderful things off of my speech. Community, teachers, the building. I have very little to say. No, I always have a lot to say. But first and foremost, I want to thank Dr. G and the planning committee for asking me to come out here to speak today. This has truly been a wonderful and is a wonderful event. What's important to understand is that very soon, in its relative terms, we're going to have a brand new school building that's going to have all the bells and whistles. We'll put our children in a position to offer, we'll be able to offer them the best atmosphere to learn possible, and that is important to do. But as Mr. Vadelis most wonderfully pointed out, our new building is really ultimately going to be only a bunch of wood, wires, metal, etc. What goes in that building, like a home that turns into a house, are the people inside it. So that is the important piece here to remember, that no matter what we build, the community and the teachers and the staff, and of course the children that are part of that, are going to want to make it a school. And that couldn't have been more obvious to me as I was walking through. And I met a Miss Morgan, 33 years, and she showed me her classroom. I know she's here. I know, because I met her. There she is, right there, 33 years. And we were talking about how sad it's going to be once they do tear it down, because there's a lot of great memories here. And as I was walking downstairs, and I came back up through, I met Miss Gilson, who I know is here someplace, who is in that same classroom. And she said to me that it's like, this place is like home. Interesting, two different conversations, but really the same word, right? It feels like home. And that's exactly what schools are. They are homes. So, in closing, I don't have a crystal ball, about in terms of what's going to happen in the future. But given what I've seen here, to the commitment and the support of this community and the folks that are in it, the future can only be bright. Thank you very much for inviting me to this wonderful day.
And thank you to all of you. That concludes, the ceremony. I want to thank you for coming. Enjoy the rest of the day. And let's say goodbye together to Templeton Center School. Goodbye, Templeton Center School. Thank you for coming. Blow those bubbles.
It's a little bubble.
That's good.
Too much bubble gum for you.
And you?
Yeah.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?